All right, so let's get to Vitaly. So first, let's cover some notes. There was a Filipino lawyer who wrote back some answers. You guys asked some questions in the chat, and he had some answers for you guys because many of you asked questions. So as a Filipino lawyer, he wanted to help me answer these. So I'm going to answer some questions that you guys had in PowerPoint format, of course, in classic legal mindset PowerPoint format. Okay, first of all, he wanted me to say, because many of you ask about caning. Unfortunately, guys, there is no caning in the Philippines. But according to a Filipino lawyer, he said that he would rather be caned than go to a Filipino prison. He literally said, I would rather be caned than go to a Filipino prison. So that kind of tells you, and I'm going to show you the Filipino prisons. And if after what I showed you today, you would not prefer the caning, but I think the Filipino prison is pretty rough. We're going to talk about that. Also, review bombing. So apparently the big thing for the crime and convicting people for review bombing is it really matters if there were fake reviews posted. So if anybody actually posted a fake review as a result of Vitaly prompting them, then that would be a crime in the Philippines. So it really would turn on other reviews that were posted that were fake. Now, this is an interesting one because both Atozi and I want to attend the trials and the hearings. So apparently, if we go to the trial, we may need special permission. I am trying to get into contact with people that could get me permission to go to the trial. So I am going to try to get permission to go. I think but based on what my conversation with a lawyer, he said you might need a special permit, and I will try to go. The other thing is, and this is the next bullet point, is that according to recent Philippine law, I have to be very, very, very neutral when I cover the trial. And that's because of law regarding impartiality of the court. So I have to be extremely neutral. So if I cover the proceedings, I have to just pretty much say, this is what happened. And I essentially will not be able to comment on what happened inside the court. I may be able to comment on what happened outside the court, but in terms of what happened inside the court, I will have to be super neutral, right? So I will not be able to give an opinion on like, oh, he did this and looked stupid or whatever. I will be like, he did this, he did this, he did this. That's what happened, right? So that's apparently the case law, right? So I would have to be kind of careful on that one. Also, one of you mentioned, or somebody in the chat mentioned, that the cameraman who is Sly Kane, Christopher P. Dantes, Sly Kane, somebody said he can be tried for treason under Article 114. The lawyer corrected that treason is a war crime. So he cannot be convicted of treason. It's not war crime. Now it can be an accessory, but he can't be treated for treason. So he can be an accessory to Vitaly's crimes. So for all of Vitaly's crimes that he was there for, he can be an accessory. For example, harassment, threatening to rob the woman, harassing the security guards. He can be an accessory to those crimes, but treason is a no-go. That's not going to happen under Article 114. The last thing that he mentioned is in the Philippines, with the penal code, we talked about the special penal code, the SPC, and the revised penal code, the RPC, the different kind of penal approaches. And what he said is there's not two codes. There's really only like a giant mix of codes, and the law loosely applies them from different areas. So essentially the law can like pick and choose which code to use. So it's not like you choose, we're going to only choose the RPC and not the SPC. They can choose both. So, or they can choose all. So the answer can be all of the above. And actually in that way, because the legal code is kind of mixed, they can choose the harshest laws to use for Vitaly, which I think is a good thing. I think having a mixed law system actually is better. So I'm actually happy from a legal sense, like a prosecutorial sense. I'm actually happy that their code is mixed. They don't have to pick mode A or mode B. They can just use whatever law they want to prosecute them, which actually is great. I actually love that. All right. So we're going to start here with the This is the Camp Bagong Diva. I forgot how to pronounce it. In Taguig. So this is the place for foreigners. So this is the first place he was locked up. Now he will be, from what I understand, he will be transferred to a Philippines prison to serve his actual time and maybe even in holding. But initially he was here. So at least for the first couple days he was here. And I want you guys to hear, this is actually from like 6 months ago. So let's play this real quick.
Immigration is planning for the rehabilitation of their detention center at Camp Bagong Diwa in Taguig City due to the congestion problem. According to immigration spokesperson Dana Sandoval, the capacity of the current VI facility is only 100, but more than 300 foreign nationals are currently detained.
Did you guys hear that? So the capacity is 100, but more than 300 are detained. This was 6 months ago, right? So you're going to see kind of a theme here in a lot of the Philippine prisons is that almost all of them are overbooked. And you're going to see what they have to do when they're overbooked. It is nuts. I cannot believe when I watch this next video, this one is just a little bit, but like it's crazy.
This includes the illegal Chinese workers arrested at the Pogo Hub in Bamban,
Pogos are illegal gambling, like online gambling.
Tarlac, who were deported just yesterday, May 14.
It feels like it's getting smaller and smaller every year because the number of arrests that we have is getting bigger and bigger.
Final discussion.
That's everybody kind of lined up in the jail. Like you can see, it's very full. So that's that one. That's the one for foreigners. So let's go inside another detention center. So this one is great. This is actually the Bicutan Detention Center. Let's take a look at this lovely place. Let's take a look at this lovely place. This is kind of fun. Let's take a look at this jail in the Philippines, shall we? Let's take a look. Looks lovely, right? Yeah, crazy, right? Crazy, crazy, great stuff. So there we go. That's that one. And now we're going to go to another one. And we're going to look at the, this is a documentary. It's in Tagalog, but it is very interesting. It's a documentary. We'll watch a little bit of it, but look at the crowding conditions here. This is absolutely, to me, like, this is to me nuts. Watch this. This is a, just kind of a, this is in Binan, but watch the level of capacity here and watch what these people have to do. Crazy stuff, absolute crazy stuff. Look at the numbers here. So the capacity is 170 and there's 432, and this is in 2018. And it ain't got better. It ain't got any better, guys. It ain't got any better. So once again, I think that Vitaly is going to have a real fun time in Philippine prison.